Okay, it's ready to go.
Hello, my name is Phil Easter, historian and writer from Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Amazing Memory Man. I have an outstanding memory ability, not only for events in my personal life since the age of 7, but also my excellent knowledge of U.S. and world history and sports history. And just 5 years ago, in 2016, a major study was done on me by doctors at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine here in Baltimore. And they did a major study on me because those doctors have certain patients who have memory problems due to either Alzheimer's or in some cases accidents, even younger people who are in accidents. And they wanted to do a comparison study on somebody with outstanding memory. So I was very honored to do that and really contributing to medical science research. And some years before that, I was interviewed on radio and television stations here in Baltimore, and there were several newspaper articles about me, especially when I discovered the mistake on the Washington Monument in Baltimore. They have the wrong inauguration date of the first president. Rather amazing how they could make that mistake back in the 1800s, not long after his lifetime. And in 1985, I was featured in the Evening Sun newspaper about how I used my memory for something very important. But most of all, I like to share stories with people from my own personal life and from history, and some unusual things I noticed that other people don't notice about time-related things and other things about people. And in the future, some of my YouTube messages in the next few months in 2022 will be about certain areas of history or personal events of my life. Especially in February when we have the Winter Olympics, I may share stories about previous Olympic Games and maybe presidential stories, since February is also the President's Day holiday. And so I will share in future times stories of some of these subjects. But today, it is December 29th, 2021. This is my first ever YouTube message on my own channel. I make that technical distinction because 1 year ago, at about this time, a friend of mine did have me give a special message, which I called Phil Easter's message of kindness to all around Christmas and New Year's last year, 2020. But he made it clear there was one time I could do it on his channel. So now I have my YouTube channel, and this is my first ever message on my own channel. And I would just like to say to everyone, we all have different opinions in the world on many different subjects, and politics and philosophy and different things about life. And our wonderful human race composed of so many different people of different races, nationalities, and other things, ethnic groups. But I would hope that in the coming year, I would like more than ever for people to try their best to at least be kind to one another, even if we disagree on certain subjects or philosophy, to go forward in 2022 more than ever before, just to be kind to one another more so than in previous times, and especially the violence that occurs throughout the world for many different reasons. It's such a terrible shame and waste that this happens, and it is so unnecessary. If people would just learn and care about other people as a person to person, not just judge people by other things, just to be kind to one another. It would really be great if this could happen more. So I'm hoping this coming year, in 2022, more people can, just be nice to one another. And I know this terrible pandemic has been a lot of stress, very stressful for many people, of course, the last 2 years. It so happens that coincidentally, in my own personal life, it was 2 years ago tomorrow, on December 30th, 2019, the worst medical situation I've ever had in my life occurred right here in my house when I had a stroke and a very bad fall, and I fractured my hips, which I'm still recovering from those hip fractures 2 years later. And it was quite frightening. I admit I was taken to the hospital in Baltimore, of all hospitals, the hospital where I was born, way back in 1952, and for a while. And then they even sent me to a special place called shock trauma, the University of Maryland Hospital, where often it's victims of car accidents and gun violence and other terrible things go. But they still wanted to check me out even there. And it turned out it wasn't the worst type of stroke after all. It was bad, but I guess they wanted to be very thorough. And then I went back to other hospital for a while and to a nursing home for several months and came back here on March 11th, 2020, the very day, ironically, that the federal government declared coronavirus a national pandemic. So a very good time to get it out of a nursing home. And as you all know, it's just terrible there, and still is in many parts of our country and the world. And I think this perhaps has caused even more stress for many people in life, even if you're not directly affected by the pandemic, even indirectly, certain situations occur. So again, I would just like to say I'm happy to share. This is my first ever YouTube message on my own channel. In the coming months, I'll be sharing particular stories about history and events in my personal life. And I would just like to say again, I wish everyone here a very happy New Year. Take care. God bless you. And thank you very much.